Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto, and today guys we are taking another cheeky look at Cardano. Specifically we're going to be taking a look at 3 reasons why we think there was such a significant breakout on the ADA token and Cardano blockchain. So if you find this video useful, informative, do go ahead and smash that like button. Chris really appreciates it, and as do I. And if by chance you're not yet subscribed to the channel, do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing you will be kept up to date with all the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto.
Super, and don't forget to mash up that like button as well. Begging stroke, not begging. And sorry, private joke. But yeah, also want to sort of call out the fact that we have now got our Cardano pool live. The ticker is Cheek. If you're not delegating your ADA, you're not holding it correctly, in my opinion. You know, you've got to make your money work as hard as you worked for it. So delegate your ADA if you're not already. Like I say, you can do this through the Deadliest wallet, Atomic wallet, and the 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗧𝗏 wallet, you know, using the ticker Cheek. So yeah, let's get minting together. Get some of those juicy rewards.
Fantastic. Right, let's jump on over to the desktop and talk through, you know, what's going on here with this breakout and what 3 things we think have really driven it.
Yeah, let's do it, Nick. Let's get into it.
Fantastic. So, you know, ADA, you know, a cryptocurrency that sits and is the native token for the Cardano blockchain. I like to think that everyone understands it at this point, but it's reached its best levels, you know, up here, way up here, which is like the best in the last 3 years. Okay, so we are doing some significant movements. And it's a major capital influx, and people are thinking it's coming from potential Bitcoin and other alt markets, but there's a whole load of capital coming into this space. And we now have, I think at the point of recording this video, Chris, $1.1 trillion market cap, and it's significantly higher than the last bull run of 2017. So things are moving quite nicely. So here we have the ADA to the USD on the daily chart to start with, and we can see the high levels here. And this thing hit 55.2 cents earlier this evening. And I don't think it's really going to be cooling off too much either. So it still has, you know, significant potential to the upside still. And we're going to go into some of the fundamentals and just go through what we think might happen in the short term and the longer term as well. So things are looking very, very good. And I believe it's around just over 2,900% from the low level it was in March 2020. So just under a year later, significant growth on the ADA token. So a large portion of ADA's bull run, you know, took cues from Bitcoin, so the flagship cryptocurrency that people like to call it. You know, the leader of the pack, if you will, rallied sharply against the backdrop of the Federal Reserve's ultra, I guess, you know, the policies and the overprinting of the fiat currency, right, has driven Bitcoin's bull run, right? And obviously the alts are starting to, you know, started to follow a bit. And I think it was officially like the 2nd or the 1st of February, Chris, that it reached a level where you could almost say, yeah, the bull run for the alts is about to start or has officially started. So altcoins basically tailed Bitcoin for most of 2020, with tokens in the decentralized finance sector pretty much taking the lead. And we mentioned DeFi specifically with Cardano because that's where they are heading now, as they enter the Gogan era. So lots happening, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. And, you know, it was good to see these kind of candles, and Cardano's emergence as a direct competitor to Ethereum, you know, the 2nd largest, you know, cryptocurrency out there. And I think Cardano is going to become a serious competitor for that. And as Gogan goes live, Cardano enters the DeFi space. Ethereum is going to potentially start struggling because it has gas fees at all-time highs as well as its native token, ETH. So yeah, lots going on. And if we look at 2021, you know, it's been much of the same with all-time highs being set, and it's not slowing down any. So really, you know, if we take a look at our first kind of reasoning for why we've had this massive breakout all the way from down here and potentially even lower in our charts, we could kind of say it has a lot to do with Ethereum, right? So you know, the largest assets or largest gains in the ADA market coincide with the Cardano blockchain upgrade. So 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗧, the firm that represents the blockchain, and I believe a lot of people would understand, who Charles Hoskinson is at this point as well. He's the CEO of 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗧 and the founder of the Cardano blockchain. On Thursday, they announced that they would go through the second planned hard fork, which is dubbed as Mary, as part of the switch from the 𝗕𝗘𝗪 era to the 𝗕𝗘𝗪 era, which is a huge move and shift towards DeFi. And that's due to happen at the end of February. So really good month for Cardano and the ADA token. And once the upgrade is completed, Cardano will support smart contract development for the first time ever, right? And it's kind of been a long journey to get there. So 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗪 noted that their offering would be better than Ethereum, from many different reasons, but ultimately, services promising superior affordability and security. And a direct quote from here would be basically, Goguen introduces a mechanism whereby tokenization is handled natively, and we spoke about this on the live stream this evening as well. So there's lots of fantastic things. So our first reason really has to be the fantastic news around the upgrade towards that Goguen era. And we always kind of thought that we're going to have a fantastic Q1 for Cardano. So that definitely comes in with our #1 spot for this particular breakout.
Yeah, and I think number 2, Nick, it has to be institutions, doesn't it? And again, this is another thing that we've been talking about on the live streams for some length of time now. But I guess in particular, I'm looking at Grayscale, which seem to be the one institution that is sort of leading the pack, particularly in how upfront they are about it. And yeah, it's really in your face, isn't it, that they're investing in crypto, Nick?
It really is, yeah. It is amazing that ultimately Grayscale, they kind of filed for a Cardano fund. Obviously, nothing is set in stone at this point, and it's not been approved by the SEC. So you kind of take it with a pinch of salt. It's a little bit of speculation at this point, but ultimately, I think if that were to happen and Grayscale do open up a fund and it becomes official, I think it's going to absolutely be massive move for the ADA token, right, Chris?
Yeah, and I think this is basically because they're now Cardano is now seen as a real prospect, a genuine competitor to Ethereum, and it has alerted the likes of Grayscale, in particular for this filing that they've done. And like Nick mentioned there, they're not necessarily going to actually have the actual trust set up necessarily, but it's all set ready if they do want to. I think we've seen about a 70% surge since then, haven't we, Nick? ADA to USD. So I think it's fantastic. I think it's got to be our second reason. Again, it lines up with everything that we've been saying for an awful long time.
Fantastic. And it's when you start having, I guess, like our Cardano put, when you get those ADA rewards, right, from the delegation pools, it compounds, right? And almost with these 3 reasons that we're calling out with today on this video, it's almost like they have a compounding effect and really propelling things forward. So the third thing that we want to talk about here in terms of what potentially has caused this to drive forward, is ADA perpetual swaps launch, right? So 𝗵𝗕𝗄𝗃 derivatives, a crypto derivatives wing of the popular exchange 𝗵𝗕𝗄𝗃, announced on Wednesday, and that it is launching Cardano and Stellar's perpetual contracts with a maximum of 100 times leverage. Traders will be able to settle their positions in Tether stablecoin, USDT. A perpetual contract allows traders to hold positions indefinitely, making it attractive for people seeking to profit from long-term targets. That may be partially helped, that may have really helped Cardano get to that fresh high level that we've seen today. So lots going on, right? So we obviously have the fact that we have the Goguen being launched, and I like to call it that, the Goguen. being launched, and that Mary hard fork and all of that fantastic stuff happening on Thursday. We then obviously have the grayscale filing happening on the 24th of January, and that's kind of bubbling in the background. Then obviously you have on the Wednesday, the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 derivatives and the swaps launch. That basically just allows that 100x leverage. It basically just kind of really has a nice effect on the price. So with some of this other stuff happening here and the technicals that we're about to get into on the chart, things have really geared up pretty nicely for a breakout. So I think the majority of this particular candle for today has to kind of land firmly on the Gogan and Mary hard fork scenario, but also with the other fundamental stuff happening in the background, kind of really gave it a good launch pad, right? So let's pull this chart down into our 4-hourly view. Here we can see much of the same as we could see on the daily view, but a little bit more granular, right? We can see good volume growth here. That is still on the increase on the 4-hourly, right? A good MACD line that we are overbought in the RSI. And obviously, we were down here when we were flat on the volumes, and they've continuously increased in volume. So we can stay up here for a little bit longer if the volumes continue in this particular manner. If we pull this down into the next level, it's going to show us the most granular level of detail here. I'm going to zoom out so you can get a good idea of those volumes. They still appear to be going up on the hour, slightly flat here, but it was also flat down here. So we'll have to see if that continues. And if we can still get good volume, things can still look very, very good. Now, obviously, on our leg up to this particular area where we had this volume on the increase, we also became very much so overbought, right? Just up here. But recently on the pullback up here at around 51 cents, we could see that we actually became, quite comfortable just above 60 level here, about 63 on the RSI. And with some significant volume coming back in, pulled us back into this overbought situation, which drove the price up even higher. That took out our price target, our first price target of 53 cents, Chris, and we obviously surged right up to 55 cents as well. We have pulled back most recently back into this area here, so potentially we could start seeing more motion to the upside soon as well. As you can see, once this happens, you can kind of keep going in and out of these areas for quite a significant amount of time on the hourly here. So really good to see this strong motion here on Cardano. Now, if the volumes decide to flatten out, then we could start to trade sideways up here and correct our RSI down here. If the volumes decide to increase, which is the best scenario, that would allow us to trade sideways, but yet still gain momentum on price if the volumes are good, but also correct our RSI at the same time. That would almost be one of the ideal situations that allow us to potentially do minimal amount of damage to the price, correct the RSI, and then hopefully get some volume kicking back in, which will allow us to again gain new highs on the Cardano ADA token. So everything's looking really, really nice on the Cardano chart, Chris. Everything's really come together really well, and I think it's testament to all three of those things. Mary hard fork, the launch of Gogan, hopefully at the end of February. You also have the fantastic news about the fund being set up ahead of time, if the SEC approve it, and Grayscale decide to actually launch the product, it could be doing absolutely fantastic things for the ADA token. And obviously, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 and their derivatives division launching this 100x leverage for traders on both Cardano and Stellar. Those all have a fantastic impact on some of these, the price, as well as these fundamentals that we've been talking about. This RSI is king. The MACD follows the RSI, and the volume is going to really help push things up, and we've seen significant volume here today. So everything's looking really, really nice, Chris.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so bullish on this project at the minute, really am. And I think the next 6 months are going to be phenomenal because there's lots of work and lots of stuff happening in the background, Nick.
Absolutely. So guys, if you have found this video useful, informative, do go ahead and smash that like button for Chris. He really appreciates it. I really appreciate it. And I like to think that you all appreciate it too. And if by chance you're not yet subscribed to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And with this said, we hope everyone has a fantastic day, guys, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Take care.